Hello, I am Jamster, as usual. I don't know why I always open up with that, but anyway, I'm Jamster. And this is vlog 11, I believe, which is pretty cool. So, as you've noticed, since the video, or the vlog, where I said I'm back, nothing really actually came back. It was more like a vlog that said I'm back. It was more like an assurance that I'm still around. It was just, I was busy and couldn't do things, and, well, as soon as I made that vlog, kind of ironically, I became very busy again. So, you know, that's all I can say. I was just busy again. But that being said, you will get something today along with this vlog, and hopefully as a craft the next day, and then following that day will be the coming back of the probably Lethis. I don't know. I really have no clue, but I have edited majority of my 11th episode of As a Craft. I've sort of been trying to improve the series in general. Increase the quality that they have, and it's something that's not easy to do when you don't have too much experience with editing. Like, the only thing I've really been able to do is add like an end card to sort of show, to allow you to quickly jump between the next episode when that gets added and the previous one, which obviously is added always, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I might change it. I don't really know, but it was pretty fun making all that sort of stuff. It was a it was definitely a challenge. I think what I've learnt will be applied to sort of like the channel art and all that sort of stuff in the future. Not too far from now. I mean, depending on where or when I decide to do that. Probably within maybe the next couple of weeks, we'll see all that stuff get updated, and it'll be looking a bit nicer than the thing that I've got up at the moment, because it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Sorry about the cough, by the way. Don't know where it's come from. I have no clue where this thing comes from. I think it's just my throat's irritated, and I don't know, it's like when I get a cold, like a slight cold. I don't know. But other than that, content will be returning, so stand by. And if, even though I say that and it may not be consistent, just know that when my university semester ends, which is in about a month from now, it definitely will pick back up, and we will continue to, and then the content will, for the duration, will probably be very consistent for about maybe 2 months, and then after that I can't guarantee it, but it's sort of that, you gotta manage the things, and I'm not good at time management, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I planned on having the As a Craft coming out earlier, but then Overwatch beta and live, which absolutely amazing. If you were thinking about playing the game but you haven't, or you just didn't know it was in open beta, just give it a try. Even if you don't even think you're gonna like the game, I would suggest trying it, because I really enjoy it. But then I thought I would anyway. But to put it into perspective, I've played probably 6 or 7 hours of a game that came out basically yesterday in open beta. Yeah, that's a lot of time for me. I normally, maybe if I play a game, I'll play maybe a couple of hours, move on for a little bit, and then play another couple of hours maybe in the next couple of days. I don't normally play that much, but Overwatch, I've been enjoying it a lot. It's quite fun learning like all the sort of quirks of each heroes, I guess. I haven't obviously mastered really any heroes. I think maybe the best I'm at is Mercy. She's pretty easy to play though. You just gotta basically manage your like sort of time management between your team members, keeping them all alive, and if you can do that as a Mercy, the other team's fucked. Like, if you can keep your team alive, then they can't kill your team. It means that they're facing a lot more people constantly, and especially if you've got a good team to begin with, a good Mercy really seems to like bring it just drives like that team through, and you basically just absolutely annihilate a game. But I've had a couple of fun games as well. Like, one of them, the whole team played as Bastion, which is like the Robot Century one if you've only seen the trailers or just a little bit of gameplay. And we won, surprisingly. It was pretty funny. Just the enemy team, I don't think we were expecting it. We just destroyed them as this character. It was great. And then again, he is a very highly defense hero, like, and basically every point was covered, and it was just great. I don't know if you can hear that. My dog's just sort of yelping a little. I think she's having nightmares. She does that every now and then. Jesus, my nose just suddenly got really itchy. I don't know, there's not really anything that I can think of to talk about. Normally I ramble on a lot. I mean, the episode, or the video that's coming out, is Command and Conquer Renegade, which is probably one of the more interesting things in the Command and Conquer series. I really talked about it a lot in the actual episode, so that's probably where if you want to know more about it, just watch it, because it explains it a lot better, and it's easier to see what I'm talking about. But it's basically just an FPS set in the Command & Conquer universe. It's the only one. There was going to be a sequel, but EA pulled it. It actually looked really good. It looked like it could have been a staple for the Command & Conquer series, which would have been interesting. I think it would have transformed the series honestly into an FPS, because it was around the time that Battlefield and Call of Duty was sort of rising up, and had they done it, they probably could have had Command & Conquer Renegade as the series. But then again, it is published and made by EA, and they've already got Battlefield, so I don't think they would try and compete with their own game. That being said, they do it anyway, if it meant more money. Because I mean, if you can appeal to like the Battlefield fans and the Call of Duty fans with one game, and still maintain a Battlefield community, then you're pretty set. Which is probably brings back to Overwatch, which I cannot sing its praises enough. Like, there are some people who obviously won't enjoy it. It's not everyone's game, but it's a very solid competitive FPS. And it's one of the few games where it's multiplayer only, and I can say I actually enjoy it. Normally when it's multiplayer only, I struggle because the multiplayer aspect is just, it's frustrating. You get people who are super good, or they use exploits or things that weren't necessarily overpowered, but they find a way to make it overpowered. It's like when you play Hearthstone, if you ever play that. It's not instinctively, it's an easy game to get into, and it's very easy to play, but there are just decks that are very powerful, and it was very evident, in previous expansions, especially after Goblins vs. Gnomes, like Dr. Boom. Anyone who had Dr. Boom had a significant advantage over every other player, and it happens in games like Call of Duty, except in a different sort of aspect. What happens there is you have people who they master every single aspect of the game, and then they're insanely good with, say, quickscoping, a feature that really shouldn't exist, but it does. And they use that to a point where it's just they win, but they win using something that you simply either have to be good enough, like your skill level has to be so much higher than it normally would in these kind of games, and it just makes it horrible to play, because when you're trying to get into a game, it always sucks when you verse, especially multiplayer ones, when you verse people who are 10 times better than you every single game, and it just puts you off the game, and it's not fun. It's like the thing with Overwatch, and the reason I think I enjoyed it at the moment, is everyone's brand new. I'm joining the game actually as it came out, at least for the open beta. It launches in I think 2 or 3 weeks from now. But because everyone's brand new, it is so much more interesting to play. I think after a while I'd probably get a bit bored of it, just because you'd get to that point where people are super good at it, and you'd have like a Tracer or something who's so good she can eliminate the team simply by she'd just be too good for you to be able to manage it. That being said, I don't think any of the heroes can actually be that good, which would be interesting. I will love to watch some of the esport matches in Overwatch, because I can see it becoming quite a competitive esport. It feels very balanced as far as I can tell, but it'll be interesting to see how it'll play out, because unlike MOBAs where you typically get locked as a hero, in Overwatch you can switch heroes in the middle of the game, because obviously like you may not have been prepared for a certain strategy, and it would just be really crap if you could change your hero to counter that. Because that's the difference with this game, is that they didn't have to design their heroes to be balanced with every other hero. They just had to design their heroes to be balanced with maybe one or two heroes, so that, or well, maybe not one or two heroes, but maybe like there could be specific heroes that are very good at countering other heroes, and that's how they've designed it. So when you play the game, you very quickly notice like that certain heroes just are shit at killing other heroes. Like one of my friends hated heroes. He actually rage quit once, and I've never seen him rage quit. Is Roadhog, and it is actually a really frustrating hero because it has this ability which hooks you in and kills you because it has a shotgun that's very powerful in close range, and that's how it's sort of to close the gap. It has this hook ability that it occasionally can use. I think it's like to every 10 seconds, and it's insanely powerful. But if you counter it with a hero that has a long range, or you play as a very fast hero and agile who can get around this guy, he's basically screwed. And the other thing is he's also a tank class, so generally with the tank classes or the tank heroes, you need to send more than one person in to kill the hero. I mean, you can get one shot by a couple of things, but not many things. Jesus, that felt really weird. My nose is still a bit stuffy. I think I recorded something and I mentioned that. I'm not sure. I think I recorded an As a Craft episode actually. So I just to sort of let you know, I do record them. I just don't edit them. I haven't had the time to edit. Recording is easier. I think I've stated that a few times in the past now. But the general thing with Overwatch is if your enemy team is playing like a specific set of heroes and you're struggling a lot, you'll find that more or less either someone in your team needs to change class because they're playing one that's easily countered by another enemy, like one of the enemy team's heroes, or you need to change because obviously you're the person. Like if you're getting killed by like a particular one very frequently, it's either because they're targeting you a lot, and that can happen, especially if you play healers like Mercy. You'll find yourself, even if you're in the back of the group, they'll go to you first, because if they can kill you, it means the team can't get heals as easily, and then they can just sort of just flick them off. I almost got the analogy right. I don't actually know what I'm trying to do, but you know what I mean. Anyway, but enough about Overwatch. It's just pretty cool. It is a good game. I really do enjoy it, and I think it is getting well-deserved praise from it because it is genuinely just an amazing game. I could play that game for a very long time, for now at least, and I wouldn't get bored of it. It's just at least for now, the community is just not toxic. You know, if you play a MOBA right now, you just get so many horrible people just playing the game. They don't even care about whether or not you are learning to play the game. They see someone's stuff up, or even they'll make a mistake, and then they'll blame the team for it, and they just throw hateful comments, and it's not fun to play because you just have all these annoying people who you can't do anything with them, and generally they're bad themselves, and it's just like they're such hypocrites, really. But the thing is with the Overwatch, and I think you'll never have a toxic community, or at least you won't notice it as much, is because you pretty much have no time to type out anything. You could do it whilst you're dead, so I guess there's like 4 or 5 seconds to do so, but no one could type out anything whilst they're alive, unless you're using like a voice chat sort of thing, which the game does have. That being said, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I think there's a lot of potential directions it can go. Like, obviously, it could easily have like more heroes, kind of like every other MOBA. Just add more heroes to the roster. But it'll be interesting to see how that works, because unlike the standard MOBA, you get to play all the heroes, or you have to pay to play this game when it releases at least, and I don't know how long that model will stay there, but I think it will probably stay there for a while, just because it is genuinely going to make the content better. Like, as much as free to play can be a good model, it's not always the best. It really depends on who's going to play your game, and in most cases, if you're going to have a very large community, then it's great. But the reason that LOLs and Dota's free to play sort of model works is because when you have when you can create an esport based off a free to play game, it means that everyone can play it. And when everyone can play it, it means when all those events, like the world tournaments and all that sort of stuff, they become more popular. Especially if the game was just somewhat good to begin with. To be honest, if you really look at a lot of like MOBAs and stuff, they aren't really that amazing in terms of what they are. For the general population of gamers, it isn't that amazing of a game. Like, they're not. They're certainly balanced and they're very good if you want a very like competitive game, but they do not have some things that they just simply should, and it's probably more to do with that they're trying to make it more accessible. It would be kind of like you could look at Minecraft and really say it's an alright game, and it could be better though, because it's missing so many fundamental things that it should have. It's poorly optimized, and it's very obvious about that. Like, people who just mod the game have improved the speed at which the game can run, and they're just modifying the game. And they actually add, and more often than not, they add more content as well. Like, Minecraft in itself really needs to, it's just so bad when it comes to optimization. It's why so many people actually struggle to run the game nowadays, because the framework on which majority of the game was built on was really, really shit. It was obviously, it wasn't really expected, I don't think, to ever be popular. It never got refined. Instead, when they were making Minecraft, I think they were more focused on adding content. And don't get me wrong, people obviously really love the game, and I love the game, but it could be better. It's just, it'd be so much nicer if it supported more graphics options, and was just easier to run in general, because like any computer should really be able to run the game. Graphics wise, it's not intensive, it's just, it stores a lot of data. It needs a lot of data because it stores, in like a 16 by 16 chunk that you store in 16 by 16 by 256 blocks of data. I don't know if it optimizes it and kind of like goes, well, from here to here is like stone. That's probably something they do, but I don't know. If like, there's a lot of data it stores, but textures wise, it only has one texture map for the blocks, and then like, I think there's in vanilla there's skeleton, creeper, zombie, spider, wither, skeleton, blaze. There's too many mobs, isn't there? But there's maybe like 20-25 mobs, I think, in Minecraft, and there's not much there's not much like GPU wise that could be used, but it certainly could be used, and it isn't, as far as I'm aware. It's not used either very well or not at all, which is just poor for like a modern game, which is why so many people struggle, because even with a dedicated GPU, your game relies solely on your CPU and your RAM, pretty much. There's some stuff to do with GPU, but not very much. I think maybe that's I think that's what 1.8 actually tackled. Don't ask me if that's true, but I think that's what it is. So I don't even know how I'm talking about Minecraft, but yeah. I feel like I always hit this point where it's like, I've realised I've just been rambling, and it's kind of like, what on earth do I say now? And in all honesty, all I can think to say is, I've been Jamster. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.